For Lamar and the Ravens.
Yeah, it's a cause for concern because I look at the league and what defensive coordinators are going to look at when they watch the Baltimore Ravens. It's a copycat league. Other teams are going to come in and they're going to try to do the same thing that Brian Flores did to whatever capacity they can. I think Brian Flores is a great defensive coordinator, defensive mind, so he schemed up a scheme to stop Lamar and to not allow him to penetrate, the defense and not allow him to, find cracks and creases and run the football, which is what he do very well. He took away the passing game. He took away a lot. And I've had games like that where you come in and you get caught off guard. And I can certainly tell that they didn't prepare for the looks that they seen yesterday. It was a lot of zero blitz. They dropped linemen, they zone blitz. And that's the most any team ever came after the Baltimore Ravens. So while every team will be watching that and trying to duplicate that, I don't know if they have the personnel to do it or really have the scheme or the mindset to do it. But, in terms of the Baltimore Ravens having to fix that problem, it's something that they're going to have to look into extensively to make sure they don't run into that again, because they will see it, whether it's now or down the road in the playoffs. They're going to see those type of blitzes, zone blitzes, and teams coming after them trying to create this confusion. And it's going to happen again, I promise you.
And listen, I know nobody outside of South Florida, other than the amazing Joy Taylor, cares about the Dolphins angle of this. But finally, for the first time, the Dolphins looked like the Dolphins I thought they would be at the beginning of the year. Like, that's the defense from last year. That's the maniac blitzes. That's the Brian Flores defense I thought they were going to have all season. I don't know what took them so long to have a game like this where you really saw what that defense could be. But on the Ravens side, here's the thing, Vic, and I want to throw it back to you. We're in a weird spot in football coverage where people act as if great quarterbacks don't have, forget bad games, don't have bad stretches. I don't remember us doing this to Peyton Manning. People like, look up, just go to Peyton Manning's Football Reference. And, about once every 3 years, he would have a month where it's like, oh my God, what's going on? And then he'd get out of it. So Josh Allen, who a lot of people think is a great quarterback, has had a rough month. Patrick Mahomes, who is a great quarterback, has had a rough month. Lamar is having a rough month. And that's the question is, how long will it take him to get out of it? Because if you look at Lamar's last 4 games, they dominated the Chargers, but he did not play well in that game. They dominated despite how he played. Then they got beat handily by the Bengals. He didn't play well in that game. Last week, I thought, oh, he's getting out of it with the game against the Vikings because he played awesome. But then in overtime, he throws a pick that could have, and one could argue, should have lost them the game. An overtime interception, but the Vikings, of course, go 3-and-out and they win anyway. And then last night, he was terrible. So when you're going through one of these ruts, what do you turn into the skid or out of the skid? Meaning, do you try to change some things up, or do you just say, I'm going to keep the same process here? Because Lamar, for the Ravens to be who they're supposed to be, Lamar's can't be good. He's got to be great. And it's been about a month since we've seen him consistently be great.
Well, last night was the first time we've seen a team really bottle Lamar up and not let him outside of the pocket. I think he might have had 35 yards rushing. That's unprecedented of Lamar and the Ravens offense. They couldn't move the ball at all costs. And, this is a situation where Lamar's going to have to go back and watch a lot of film on what's transpired over the last couple of weeks, because every week, each team, like I just said, are going to watch what the opposition did versus the Ravens, and they're going to try to come out and do the same thing. And you keep running into the same looks and same problems. And in the National Football League, they go after your weaknesses. And no offense is perfect. So they're going to find some area on the offense that they can exploit. Here's how we can get to Lamar. Here's how we can keep him contained. Here's how we can keep Hollywood Brown from catching the 10-yard in cut, in which he killed every team on that type of concept, that type of route. So, it's all about making adjustments. And this time of the year, every quarter of the year, you got to make adjustments and change the game plan.
Yeah, so, Mike, I want to go up to 10,000 feet and talk about the season in general, because in this last week, we saw 3 great teams have befuddling losses. The Cowboys had a befuddling loss to the Broncos. The Josh Allen, the high-powered Bills offense, went down to Jacksonville and did absolutely nothing. And the Ravens last night against the Dolphins. Now, we always talk about halftime adjustments. Are there half-year adjustments, half-season adjustments when you're playing? When you're like, the first half of the season we played this way, and we need to either switch it up to be ahead of the curve, or our defensive coordinators, or on the other side, figuring teams out. And we're actually going to see a totally different second half of the NFL season.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, one thing you can't do, what you run in the first quarter season, you can't run in the second quarter. What you run in the second quarter, you can't do it in the third. Your offense has to continuously evolve. And the one thing I can say about Andy Reid, we always had new concepts. We always had new plays. We was always doing different things. That's why the offense stayed high power. And it was always efficient and effective. If you're not doing that, if you're trying to do the same things, then, you just don't find success. And the one thing for the Baltimore Ravens right now, they can't run the football. Running the football is the equalizer. It opens up everything. We didn't even see Mark Andrews catch passes last night because the Dolphins took everything away. Take nothing away from the Miami Dolphins. It was a great scheme. The Baltimore Ravens got to fix the issues.
So, Nick, who then becomes the clear-cut favorites in the AFC?
Well, so that's what's so interesting. Right now, I think it's pretty undeniable. The 5 most reliable teams in the NFL are all in one conference, the NFC. In no particular order, Cardinals, Rams, Bucks, Packers, Cowboys. You trust those 5? Vic, tell me if you disagree. I trust those 5 more than I trust any AFC team right now. And then after that, you have this kind of high upper middle class of the AFC that starts at the top with the Bills and the Titans and then goes down to the bottom of that is the Patriots, and it's 10 teams. It's like who do you think is going to get right? Right now, I think that one would say the Titans, but they lost Derrick Henry. The Bills are playing the worst football they've played in 2 full seasons, so it's hard to say them. It would have been the Ravens after they got another, escaped with the win the other night or last weekend against the Vikings, but then it looked so bad yesterday. So, Wilds, here's what I'll say.
Oh, here we go.
If there was ever a time to put some real separation between the best in the conference and the 2-time defending conference champions, it was these first 2 months. And none of these teams did it. None of these teams lapped them. None of these teams got looking good. None of these teams are peaking. And I'll tell you this much. What if the Chiefs let's just say they look great this weekend. Let's say the Chiefs on Sunday Night Football. I know you think it's an impossibility because the most recent thing that happened is the only thing that happened. What they've done over the last few years, or hell, back all the way back in early October, might as well not have happened. But let's just say the Chiefs look great on Sunday Night Football against the Raiders. Who do you think is going to be the most feared team in the AFC? If the Chiefs look great on Sunday night, who do you think becomes the AFC favorite? I'm curious.
Okay. You want to put me in a vice, a logical vice, and turn it like you're Robert De Niro in a casino? I will say the words.
Joe Pesci.
I do
Pesci
think it's
did it
the
in
Chiefs.
casino.
I do. Oh, it's Pesci did
Got
it.
your
You're
head in a
you're
vice.
Yeah. He kept it. He kept his hands clean in casino. Okay, I do think it's the Chiefs. At the same time,
thanks,
Mike.
buddy.
If Mike, hear me. It's a compliment sandwich. There's going to be an insult in the middle. Here's the thing, Mike. If it was also announced that like Mike Tyson was going to fight Tyson Fury, I'd be like, woo! Mike Tyson, he still might have something there. I am a victim of relying a lot on memories. Call me crazy, but after seeing Patrick Mahomes throw the ball to the other team for 5 consecutive weeks, maybe 7 consecutive weeks, and then not have an interception, but throw over 166 yards, and have Nick come on the show Monday and say, but he had one